Hello, ladies. Oh my god, what's happening? Why is my mouth moving? No! This is the worst case scenario. It's always something. I remembered this time to turn off the viewer rewards. This time I forgot to start my tracking. There we go. Hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to EFF versus Garuda Virtual Air Wing. First things first, time for the dice rolls. So, get that run number rolling. 1, 2, 3. And that is map number 4. That is Clear Winter Day, Tbilisi versus Sukumi. Alright, I'll hand that over to the organizers. And the coin flip. Garuda Virtual Air Wing has picked heads. EFF picks their starting side. That's all the stuff we need to get started. So while we get the map changed, let's show the fact that I'm playing music on YouTube. Hide this. And pass it all over. All right. I thought it was supposed to be Diet Cola, but that's pretty big. Welcoming Mika, STDGDFS. Hex, thank you for the 14 months of subscription. A pleasure to have you. And a welcome and beloved community member. It's a pleasure to have you around. Video Game Pilot, good to see you. Kita VT. Patty Fowl, Zero Sum, Technitinium. Ustio, Eagle Eye DCS, and Mika! Hey Mika, how are you doing? Let's get a shout out for Mika VT. I was having a lot of fun watching you play was it My Summer Car today? Okay. There we go. Okay. Welcome in, everyone. How you doing? If you're here from Mika's stream, welcome into Satac. Mika, Ingo TV2, Faxtato, Hatsuni45, Miku, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. So we had the EFF versus Garuda Virtual Air Wing. I'm really excited for this match. Both teams are going to be super good, and I'm excited to see what they get up to. EFF, originating from the Far East, and Garuda Virtual Air Wing, not that far away either. So, a variety of pilots from all over the world. Are you here to support someone specific? Or are you just going to be excited to see some aviation combat? This game is pain. What, My Summer Car? Frost here. Hey, Tokisaki, how you going? Good to see you. Okay. Just get myself a little bit hydrated. It looks like EFF is picking the red side. Let's give you something to look at. This is the part of the world we're all very familiar with. So, what can I say about it that hasn't been said before? Except that this little part of the world is the home to an enormous amount of aviation content. And it's a snowy, clear winter day, which will give the heat seekers a little bit of extra performance and the engines working at their maximum potential. Over on the red side at Sukumi, we have the members of EFF, starting with A50, E3A, and BYD getting started here at the moment. Waiting for Arma 3 to move so you can install the Cola map. Is it really 160 gigabytes? Okay, so the members of EFF are starting to spawn in. And then on the other side of the world, we have the members of Garuda International Air Wing. Very easily recognizable by their country-inspired camouflage. We have an Indonesian flag proudly displayed. Looking good and feeling good. So it looks like Murazan's taking an F-18, Rio and Maligator and F-16s, and then over here we have Bravo Storm, Sarah Brave, and Valkyr, familiar names to us all, in the J-11s. They'll get those engines started in no time. Good day for a fight, perfect day for a fight. Just hope you don't have to eject, or else you might end up to a little bit chilly on the outside. Meanwhile, E3A, A50 are in F-18s, BYDs in a J11. What have we got here? They never tell me about, oh, it's UMP-45. Well, they never... Whenever EFF send me skins, they just say, hey, can you install this? And I'm like, yeah, okay, what is it? And then they just don't respond. So... there we go. UMP-45, take a disguise for EFF, along with an F-15C. You're watching this game in the hospital in Kasu? Get well soon. I hope you're alright. What happened to you? Are you okay? Will you be fine? Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more for the EFF. UMP, my beloved. And I know that there are custom J11 skins. There they are for Garuda Virtual Air Wing. So it's an eclectic mix of aircraft. Garuda Virtual Air Wing, of course, Indonesian inspired. And I think, yeah, just let me double check something here. Hello, Walker Gronin, how you going? I'm pretty sure that all of the members of Garuda are Indonesian. They're very proud of their country. As we see the first of the jets get moving. And hello, what have we got here? It's everyone's favorite. Look at these bad boys. Who we got here? Well, we got a server that's running at about a frame per second at the moment, but we got the Tods. And this, I was like, man, it looks like he has too many missiles, but actually he doesn't. Ooh, it's an ugly loadout. It's an asymmetrical loadout. That's gross. Only BYD would use this skin. Is BYD a big fan? Also, Mkasu, I need you to tell me where your 6th member is. As A50 takes their way down to the runway, leading the way. How many times can I say way in one sentence? Okay now. Taxiing down. So there was a DCS update. All of the players were told about 60,000 times to not update their games. And looks like someone has. So 6 tildes is plenty. Weeb, Itasha wrapped, J11s. At 16 is missing something. It's missing all of its weapons. Thank you for the follow, lols time. A whole bunch of technical difficulties for the members of EFF at the moment. So it looks like Garuda Virtual Air Wing are just about ready. Meanwhile, so let's have a look at what we have here. We have a Turkish F-18 with a practice AIM-9 on one wing. Then it has 2 Sparrows, and then an extra Sparrow, and then a fuel tank, and then another fuel tank, and then a data link pod, and then an ACMI training pod. Not exactly a conventional loadout, but, you know. Alright. I do like the way that they have all of the light blue and grey camouflage, the Indonesian Air Force camouflage, on one side of the runway, and then on the other side, they have the flanker squadron. Well, I'm not entirely sure what to say about this. It's kind of frustrating. All right, 5 minutes. No matter what, we are taking off. So, who are you guys here to support? I'm going to start a poll in chat so that you guys can get your opinions in for round 1. Bizarro start to the day. Yes, they'll have to find a mercenary to fly for them. Because Garuda Virtual Air Wing are, of course, in Indonesia. It's around about midnight for them now. They put in a lot of effort to make sure that they can be here on time. So that is what we're doing. And Kasu, you might have to see if you can get a mercenary. All right, looks like we've got 6 for EFF. And they are making their way. The important thing to note as well is that the update contains no weapon changes or bug fixes relevant to air-to-air combat in any meaningful way. Because they've been waiting on the runway for a little while, Garuda Virtual Air Wing just refueling a little bit before reporting ready. Everyone's got their weapons on. Has A50 adjusted their armament? Yes, they have. Both teams bringing Tolds, actually. Look, it's a Told v Told fight. Be interesting to see if these get any use and what they get up to. Plenty of tricky things you can do with some Tolds. Valkyr up in the front in the J11. We've seen Valkyr fight before. Looking good, hot and ready. Take off from Garuda. Looks like EFF are the favourites for round one. But will they be damaged by their disorganisation? Garuda reports ready. Already. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. And there we have it. Finally, we get to the beginning of round one. How many rounds? It's a best of 5. So it could be 3, it could be 5, could be 4. As Valkyr takes the sky, the F-18 and the J-11 taking off as Maligator and Rio also following in the wake turbulence. Gotta be careful, gotta be careful. Don't get too close. Don't get too close. Okay, there we go. A little bit wiggly, but that's fine. And that is all of Garuda up in the air. Meanwhile, still a few members of EFF left to go. We have everyone up in the air. We started with a J11, and now we finish with a J11 on the takeoff sequence. That's everyone up in the sky. Are you guys happy with the white background, or would you prefer the green background? Let me know if you want satellite view or if you want altitude map. And look at this beautiful formation. Just because it's a competitive fight doesn't mean you can't take a chance to show off. I love Garuda Virtual Air Wing. They're a very good-natured, very friendly team. All of their members incredibly kind and welcoming members of the community. As we see the front jet for Garuda fly in front of their A50. You prefer the alt view for better contrast? No worries. Looking good. No one in the circle just yet. Looks like BYD and HT23. And the big birds are heading north and south. Meanwhile, A50 and E3 are heading down the middle. These tactical air launch decoys, both teams using them. But will they have the presence of mind to pick up on the other team's tactical air launch decoys? Now and Zero Apple, both at about 18,000 feet. Not in any particular hurry here. Murazan going to be the first one in. Really charging along. That's an F-18 going past the sound barrier. Full afterburner. And that's Blue taking control of the battle area with Murazan entering. But A50 and E3 are going to be in themselves shortly. That means we got a fight on our hands. Looking good, feeling good. The battle zone is contested. Let's go check on the beautiful formation of Rio and Malagata. Time to separate out into the battle line. Awesome. So Murazan backed up by Rio and Malagata with the benefit of the Talds to cover. Valkyr taking the far northern route at 32,000 feet in the J11. Meanwhile, in the south, Bravo Strom and Cerebrave in their own J11s heading to face off against HT23, who is in the F-15C. It is a battle of the SD-10 versus the AIM 120C. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 1v1 between J11s in the north between Valkyr and BYD. Meanwhile, the three in the middle, Murazan, Malagata, and Rio, face off against E3A, A50, Zero Apple, and Knau. One more, predominantly F-18 group facing off against a predominantly F-16 group. So pick your favorites. Who likes the Navy? Who likes the Air Force? All right, we are 84 nautical miles away between HT23 and Bravo Strom. Valkyr enters the circle before BYD, but still 92 nautical miles away. The battle lines of Murazan's group facing off against A50 are 66 nautical miles away from each other. No Talds launch just yet. So a little bit more aggression coming out from Garuda Virtual, but still it looks like it will be a meeting close to the center of the map. The F-16 in the back, about 12 nautical miles behind its friends. The F-18s forming into a fairly loose battle line here. It looks like Murazan, Maligator, and Rio might be peeling off just a little bit to the north, as we see the first of the Tolds come loose from the airframe. And another. And another. That's 3 Tolds away. Making their way through the sky. Looking like beautiful F-18s on radar. You can see just down here, the ADM-141A will continue to drop altitude. And look, Murazan drops a line of ADM-141As, and Maligator and Rio immediately take up positions in amongst them. If for no other reason than to act as a shield against potential Fox 3 missiles. This is some really aggressive use of the Tolds here, as these missiles have the F-16s covered. Alright, an AIM-7 launched from E3A, an AIM-120 and one SD-10 traded in the south, and Valkyr and BYD not far away from each other. I reckon BYD will probably launch any second now. What is he dropping? Tactical air launch decoys. They're little gliding aeroplanes that look like radar signatures. Looks like all of these missiles in the south have been defeated, but these guys are getting really, really close to each other. That is a 19 nautical mile launch at above 40,000 feet. These two missiles are going to cross right next to each other in the air, passing right by each other. Trail traveling at 2,000 knots. Valkyr gonna have to contend with this one. Gonna have to maneuver a little bit harder, but no dice. Valkyr gets splashed, and it looks like BYD might be getting away from the one fight in response. Maligator and A-50 only 10 nautical miles away from each other, and AIM-120 coming off from A-50 towards Maligator. However, this missile never going to have the energy at this altitude to take advantage of it. AIM-7Ps flying in home on jam, but they've got no speed and are no threat to anyone. R-27ER launch from Cerebrave. Got a high altitude shot there. The R-27ER's quite good at long ranges, so long as you can maintain the lock, and of course it didn't. In fact, did that just take down a friendly Told? Oh boy. Let's hope that's not what happened. So, Valkyr goes down. Shot down by BYD. Rio at a much higher altitude than all of the friends in the west. Only 10 nautical miles away from Kanau, who I reckon will probably fire any second now. Or elect not to. Both deciding to turn cold as opposed to fire. So everyone's quite close to each other. And here's an interesting thing. We're seeing 2 SD-10 launches, and they almost look like they could be going for the Told. Hopefully that's not the case. Another AIM-7P launched from E3A. Looks like they're just being used to distract people. An AIM-120 coming out from Maligator. Like it might be towards E3A. Maligator at 24,000 feet, so it's a shoot down situation. The SD-10's not going for the Told. Looks like it was a shot towards A-50, but no dice as it get lost in the ground clutter. The 120 fired towards E3A, running out of speed, and E3A is nice and cold here. Gonna get away from that one comfortably. regaining some altitude to recommit to the fight. A50 launches another Told here. Quite aggressive frontline Told usage, but it looks like Rio's not taking the bait. Unless Cerebrave here has just launched against a... something. We'll have to see. Cerebrave making the choice to launch at fairly long range against cold targets. They need to pull themselves together just a little bit here. Thank you, Spaceman, for the 12 months. That's a whole year of being a good friend. Bravo Strom launches off an SD-10. They have the altitude advantage in a big way here, but taking advantage of that is not easy. BYD launches an SD-10 and an R27 ET. It's not an uncommon combo to launch a long-range heat seeker and a radar-guided missile at the same time. Looks like both of these are going towards Bravo Strom, who is going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering here to get away from this. Only a little bit. Like the SD-10 loses track. No trouble. Maligator, only 6 nautical miles away from K now. If he were to get a good shot here, may have a bit of luck. But Maligator now having to defend against this 120, just needs to reverse his direction to get away from it. Needs to pull a little bit harder. A little bit harder. Manages to eat that missile. That's pure luck right there. AIM-120s fight in response. Thought that might have been a friendly just there. Where this missile's going, I'm not sure. Keep an eye on it. Hopefully this 120's not turning towards Rio, because it's got a lot of speed. No bingo just yet. Plenty of missile shots, but the Fox 3 Seeker heads not doing anyone any favors. Big collection of fighting happening around all of the mountainous area here. Like Rio's going to have to defend against this one, and has. The Told, targeted by an AIM-120, it looks like. Looking very disappointed after it realized it was fooled by a decoy. Maligator pushing towards A50 now. BYD and HT-23 at very high altitude here. Not doing much. Very cheeky 120 shot, just skimming the tops of the trees. It doesn't have track on anything. It's still turning, so it's acting like it might have seen something. But it looks like it might have just lost it. No dice. An ET shot from Bravo Strom. This one's going to be tricky to get away from. If it has track, which it might not. This fight is getting deadly close. All of these guys within 3 nautical of each other. Almost within visual ranges. Rio just crawling around super low down here. E3A and Maligator look like they're heading for a merge here. They're only 3 nautical away. Maligator just needs to look left. Looks like he's found him. Maligator starts burning. Bravo Strom just killed K now with an R27ER. We'll check that fight out on the TAC view. K now gets splashed. Maligator launches a close-range AIM-120, but now has to deal with an AIM-7. Fired at super close range from a plane right behind him. And, oh, no dice. But did the missile get his target? It did. Maligator took down E3A, only for the A50 to take him out. Rio looking very lonely up here by now. I'm not sure climbing's the right idea. Rio making himself a very, very obvious target. And Zero fires a very short-range missile to come introduce itself to the F-16 that is right way too high, launches 2 missiles, gets splashed. Where are these missiles going? No idea. It's a 2v3. All of the action happening in a short period of time. Cerebrave in the J11, what's he got? R73s and R27 ETs. He is down to heat seekers. Could switch over to the electro-optical site here because he's got no friendlies in front of him. Meanwhile, Zero Apple and A50 at low altitude are pushing the attack. Cerebrave, now within 12 nautical miles of the targets in front of him. Murazan turning cold. Cerebrave entering into a 2v1 here. Let's see if the second half of his name lives up to expectations, and he's as brave as they hope. Launches an ET, but gets a 120 launched in response. See if the ET has what it takes. The ET falls for the flares. Cerebrave gets hit. Cerebrave, no dice. Zero Apple managing to flare away the R27 ET. Murazan, the last one left, with nothing but one AIM-120 and two AIM-9Ms. One missile per remaining enemy plane. People have come back from tougher odds, but it's not going to be easy. Zero Apple starts zeroing in here. One AIM-120 left. Murazan uses his last AIM-120 against Zero Apple. Zero Apple might be caught at a little bit too low an altitude here. Relying on the ground clutter to get away from this one. And it may well have worked. As Zero Apple turns cold, missile loses speed rapidly. Probably going too slow to catch up with anything now. Swapping with A50. A50 with a told left. Launches an AIM-7 at Lofts. Heading over towards Murazan. He'll be getting all of the missile warning he needs. This AIM-7, not really up here for any reason other than to say, we're coming for you. Running out of speed. HT-23, Zero Apple, and A50 facing off against Murazan, who has a very, very spicy AIM-120 coming in. And gets hit. Red takes control of the battle area, and that secures round one for EFF, so long as they can make it back and land. So let's see if we can see what we didn't see over on TAC View. Okay, so this I thought was a very cool maneuver. The launching of the three Talds here from Murazan, acting as a shield for Maligator and Rio to fly through. Certainly would have given them a chance to escape any hot missiles coming in. The real question is that BYD and Valkyr waited until they were 20 nautical miles away from each other to launch. BYD starts the defense and is at lower altitude, so drags into thicker air sooner. Valkyr not defending enormously aggressively. Could have probably gotten away with this one by pointing the nose really far down, but NSD-10 was still traveling at Mach 2.7 by the time it hit. Here is the double-edged sword of Tolds. Here we see Cerebrave launching an R27ER at a friendly ADM-141. And managing to splash. Some very good missile shots happening here but none of them quite finding the desired effect. Rio, I think, pushes up a little bit too far here. No, gets away with it. Maligator gets lucky with getting away from this 120. Proximity fuse failing to get him. This little battle happening over here is one of the kills we missed, as Rio faces off against K-Now, managing to dodge a 120 at very close range, flashes it into the terrain, turns in, super hot here, super hot, turns in, launches a short range 120 against Zero Apple, but Zero Apple's already cold. Maligator here, chasing down E3, but A50 comes in to attempt to defend here. The aim 9 eventually splashes, but E3 does not get away. Definitely a strange choice for Bravo Storm to continue pushing at this altitude, well knowing that there could be a 120 coming in. And sure enough, the high altitude events of HT-23 demonstrates exactly the folly behind all that. No dice, and you're not going to notch at that kind of angle. Cerebrave, I think, gets a little unlucky here. The R27 ET shot is seen, and Zero Apple starts dumping flares right at the correct time, defeating that missile. And then eventually Cerebrave gets caught, and at that point, it's all over. As Murazan has a valiant go of it, but no luck. So, will all the members of EFF make it back home? We shall see. I'm just going to chuck up a poll for my own curiosity, seeing about who's interested in cola and who's planning on getting it. Time to swap the mission to cola? Oh, I wish I could. That would be fun. But, no, I don't think so. How far away are we? Okay, A50, Zero Apple and HT-23, all not too far away. Oh, it does sound like, HT-23's engines are pretty much idling at the moment. Maybe a bit low on fuel. Got installed, map is huge. In fact, do I hear the sound of not much fuel? Kind of underwhelming with like the 8 airfields there are. Yeah. Diet Cola. Not getting it with that size. Yeah. I genuinely don't think that I would be able to spare the space. Like, my DCS install. In fact, let's see. DCS World. Let's see how big my DCS install is at the moment, not including liveries. Also pre-ordered Afghanistan. My DCS install at the moment is 371 gigabytes, which is relatively small, actually. I've had it up to 560 gigabytes before. Half a terabyte of DCS. Maybe one day when I leave my job, I'll take one of the servers that we have, give myself a 1.2 petabyte NAS head so that I can finally install the HD texture pack when it comes out. So we've got Diet Cola and Afghanistan. Though I am quite excited for Afghanistan. How's HT23 doing? Still got enough fuel to push the engines up a little bit. For stupid reasons, you can't get another SDD within your PC? Oh no. Is that because you use your PC to store all of your magnets in? You guys remember when, like, the biggest hard drive you could get was like a 100 gigabyte spinning disk? And then when you finally had it, you were like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with all of this space? I could install so many copies of Warcraft 3 on this thing. 660 gigs? Excuse me as my voice falls out of my throat. 660 gigs for DCS? That's quite a lot. Looks like it's even Stevens. Some yes, some no, maybe one day. Also, thank you for the follow, Blind Lemon. Hope you're having a good day. Welcome in to EFF versus GVAR. And the problem with buying more storage is that the longer you wait, the cheaper it gets. This is one way of slowing down your aircraft when you're coming in too fast for landing. First ever 80 gigabyte hard drive in 2005. Hell yeah. And that's alright, it's a Navy jet, you can slam it down. It's built into a server case. Oh, that's so cool. So modular, so practical. You're not buying cola until there's a reason to? True. I mean, do any of you guys play the single-player campaigns? I have never played a single-player DCS campaign in my life. That also secures round 1 for EFF. War Thunder landing, I know. Give it a little wheels up, what's up? I remember my old PC had a hard drive hot swappable slot on the top. So there was a SATA cable and power that was just in like a cartridge slot at the top. And just slam one in there. HT23. Let's see how HT23's fuel's going. Let's see. Oh, I see. This is the problem. He hasn't got any fuel. It's all blurry. He hasn't even got enough fuel to render the textures inside of his cockpit. But he can see it. He can see home. If you want to get people coming in to watch a cool match of Satac, one of the good ways to do it is by interacting with my going live tweet. Thank you for all of the follows and all that. Appreciate it bigly. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep looking forward. Garbage with the in-game comm system. I mean, they are pretty unwieldy, I'll say that much. I'm hearing the distinct sound of an engine shutting down. So the left engine is at 17% RPM. The right engine is at 62. So we have one running engine here at the moment. Flaming Cliff's 1 module. But may just make it. Someone run out onto the runway with the jerry can before this thing shuts off. Here we see landing from the perspective of the Gyat of the F-15. Hopefully he has enough skibbity riz to land, and it looks good. And the Phantom tax is paid. Looks good, feels good. All right. So let's get ready for the next round. We are stepping into round 2 of GVAR versus EFF. Time to stand up, get yourself a drink, and get ready for the next one. We'll be right back. Alright, my Sigmas, welcome back. We're getting ready for the next round. Round 2 of EFF versus VVAR. Time to get that vote happening in the poll. Who do you think's going to win? Why did I put GVAR? I meant to put GVAW. My bad. Press the wrong button. Okay. So they've switched sides now, meaning that Garuda Virtual Air Wing is starting over on the Tbilisi. On the Sukhumi area, rather. And the members of EFF will be at Tbilisi. We've brought out all of the support equipment. In fact, if you guys didn't realize, I'm actually sitting inside one of these little trucks at the moment here. This is my driver here. His name's Ivan. Sometimes we make fun of him for the two sides of his face not matching, but he carries his gun with him all the time, so we try not to antagonize him too much. And that's fine, you know. We have fun. Now here we see a traditional mating ritual between fighter jets. Looks like the magnificent J-11 here is showing off its plumage to a potential mate. This F-18 showing some interest here, but during the mating season for fighter jets it can be tough competition. But it looks like this bonded pair has found a future together. For now, this F-16 going to have to wait, as the textures in his cockpit don't load. Meanwhile, on the nice blue side, HT-23 in an F-15 that doesn't have an anime girl on it. The last one to get ready, along with the J-11 UMP-45. I don't know what you guys see in her. Pretty mid, if you ask me. Probably one of those tsundere types that all of you kids like. Meanwhile, this F-18 has decided for this match it's going to bring 5 data link pods. This F-18 is going to get so much data. This man has decided to mine some Bitcoin while flying here. Of course, if one data link pod lets you control a SLAM ER, then why can't you control 5 slam ERs at the same time? Looks like EFF are still the favourites for round 2. All the data. Give the local population better internet. Exactly. This is like what having the only Wi-Fi hotspot in the airport looks like. Do you think they'll share the crypto with us? Oh, I hope not. I don't deserve anything good in this world. I've done nothing well, and I'm not a good person. So ultimately, there are a few people less deserving to win anything than me. All right. Looks like we've got just about everyone ready here. We should be hearing the ready report shortly. How are they organising themselves? We have Maligator yet to come. Maligator, too late to even get painted. All right. Report when ready. Marizan and Valkyr, right at the front here. I told you they were a bonded pair. Look at them. Now, after the little bit of a slip-up with the holds in round 1, looking like the F-18's going against bringing the Tolds today. Oh, actually, I take that back. Just 3 Tolds this time. It was a good idea. Meanwhile, let's see if Mr. 5 Datalink Pods has actually brought a weapon. He's brought training Sidewinders on the wings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Welcome in, Haraja, to today's Satac match. Hope you're having a good day and taking good care of yourself. All right. ID is ready. If I got $1 for every time EFF told me to wait 1 minute, I'd have $1. Oh, now's the time to put on weapons, huh? Good, good. Hello there, say something cool, no pressure. Oh, you put me on the spot now. If you manage to bring an AIM 120 home, and you hold a lighter up to this part of the rocket, then you have one of the world's shortest lasting candles. That's not cool. I don't know what's cool. Just fighter jets, they're cool. If ready. Okay. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go. And off they go. Got a little bit of a false start here. What about on the other side? It's like the big birds are taking off. Looking good and feeling good as they take off to the sky. So, leading the way, we have HD23 A50 taking off. Meanwhile, on the other side, Valkyr and Murazan leading the way, followed by Cerebrave. Taking off smoothly. And Maligator and Cookie, the last two for EFF. Like EFF has a disconnection. Those wheels had left the ground. That means they're no good. Up they get. Okay. So, BYD, the last to take off for EFF. I can't count how many times I've taken off from this particular airfield in Su-27s and J11s, as that's where the Su-27s on Growling Sidewinder spawn. Are we going to see some cool formation flying? Okay, so looks like Bravo Strom and Sarah Brave in the J11s are heading to the north instead of the south this time. Was it a tail strike on the F-16? Probably not. But it can look mighty close sometimes. Off goes the centerline fuel tank. Okay now. Big bags of fuel, but they don't last long. Not when you're afterburning. One thing I wasn't aware of, until someone told me today, is that this is a long weekend as well. Hopefully the weather gets a little bit better, but I don't think it will. Looks like Maligator and Cookie are right next to each other. Murazan is about to enter the circle, leading the way. Once again, the Tulled carrier. Wonder if they'll go for the same strategy of launching 3 of those Tulleds as a smoke screen for their F-16s. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do it a little bit closer this time, so that the F-16s can use it as a chance to get into weapons range. HT-23, the F-15, is going to be facing off against the 2 boys in the north in J-11s. We'll have to keep a close eye on Valkyr in the south. Hopefully this time gets a little bit more advanced warning here and doesn't accidentally fly too close. Definitely going to be wanting to defend a little bit harder this time and hopefully not get knocked out right at the start. I give you the "you got any games on your phone" angle. But he's going up against UMP-45. So the battle area is contested. Murazan's leading the way. Current separation is 85 nautical miles. We have a look at things from a little bit more of a clinical perspective. We have the F-18s, 2 on the left, 1 on the right, and K-Now leading the way. The dataling pods were a joke. They would not be useful in any way in this situation. EFF HT-23 closing in on Bravo Strom at 80 nautical miles. this fight going to be interesting, but they do have this valley to hide down into should they find themselves engaged with long-range missiles. Meanwhile, Valkyr and BYD, 77 nautical miles away from each other, roughly co-altitude. So it's going to be a head-to-head. Valkyr burning and turning hard, making their way deep down into the south. "47 nautical miles between Murazan and Kai now. Maligator and Cookie separate out into battle formation. The first missile comes off the wings from HTWJ, a long-range shot, like it's toward Bravo Strom, not lofting. It would be difficult for this missile to have the range to connect, as it's got about 22 nautical miles to go, and it's already going at 1,800 knots and quickly losing that speed. I think we can safely say that this is no factor. This Bravo Storm turns directly into it. Another early aim 7P shot here. The home on jam missile. No real effectiveness on the target, really just giving someone a scare on their radar warning receiver for a brief moment. Valkyr, the first to fire at BYD, who returns fire. This missile fired at 21 nautical. Does not look like it has any kind of track as it flies over the top of BYD. Valkyr not having any luck at the moment. The missile fired in response still has track on Valkyr, who hopefully has learned their lesson from the first time and is not going to commit. The TALDs have been deployed. A little bit of situational awareness should inform the teams that these are decoys and dud radar signatures to be ignored. Valkyr gets away clean from this SD-10. So the opening shots, no result this time. Valkyr survives the opening engagement. BYD and Valkyr start turning back to their respective teams. And HT-23 is already a very, very long way away from the north now. And launches some countermeasures just for the fun of it, I think. No one falling for the ADM 141s here. As E3 just starts flying pretty much in amongst them. So, not too much effect just yet. This AIM-7 has no track, doesn't look like. Murazan and Maligator confidently just cruising around. Cookie managing to make it up to 36,000 feet. Abandoning Maligator by themselves. Murazan is going to be pressing the attack here. I reckon we'll see a missile shot in a moment. Nothing just yet. Though an AIM-120 is fired in response. Murazan's got to be careful. Valkyr starts progressing in. Launches off an SD-10 off the rails. Murazan's going to have to defend against this one. But it is slowing down. It's below 900 knots at the moment, so no huge factor here. This SD-10 maintaining speed decently. It's going towards E3. It looks like it is. Going to miss by inches. Relatively speaking, no luck. Spoofed by the ground clutter. A50 in Valkyr. Only 8 nautical miles away. A50 deciding to launch the first of the tactical air launch decoys close in like this when someone like Valkyr is going to have to take snapshots. Could well lock onto the wrong target down there. You're up and Kai now, flying right past each other. Swapping spots in the sky. And Kainao and Maligator look down towards each other. Maligator launches off a 120. Makes it off the wings. Fired from 17,000 feet. Kainao launches later. A50 seems content chasing Valkyr here throughout the mountains. Maligator launches another 120. Starts going hard defensive. Kainao going to have to contend with these AIM-120s coming in. 900 knots and dropping here at the moment. Kainao traveling at 500 knots, so not going to be the hardest dodge in the world. Just needs to keep going cold. And he's gotten away from the missile, unless he turns into it, that's no factor. HD-23 all by their lonesome down here in the south. As the members of EFF start turning in for another push. SD-10 comes off the rails from a very high altitude BYD. Like this one might be going towards Cerebrave, who's just as high, and launches one in response. BYD starts defending decently hard here and notching the incoming missile. Cerebrave starts maneuvering as well. The SD-10 heading in towards Cerebrave. Has some potential here. Cerebrave needs to be ditching more altitude than this. Cerebrave is not turning hard enough and gets splashed. Cerebrave, the first one to go down. 120 comes off the rails. Has no speed though. Starts doing the AMRAAM shaker. Desperately trying to find something and finding nothing. Valkyr, Bravostrom and Murazan start pushing throughout the northern corridor. 40,000 feet. Valkyr starts turning down, looking for something to shoot at. Gonna have to be careful though. Launches an SD-10 down towards Kainao. Gonna have the speed, but will it be able to track in amongst the terrain? The missile is maneuvering, so it still has some sort of data going to it. And splash! Alright, so that's a trade. Down goes Kainao. Effectively splashed. This missile fired in response. No bingo. So it's a 5v5 again. An AIM-120 launched towards Murazan. Traveling at 1,000 feet. It's not going to have the speed to catch up. Murazan fires two AIM-120s at Colt 1-2A50. Surely, statistically speaking, one of these missiles should have an effect. Colt desperately launches a ADM-141 and hides in amongst the terrain. It may just be enough to save. As the two missiles launched, impact the terrain. Maligator now pushing towards the low altitude members. This 120 looks like it might be going towards the hot BYD. And BYD is going to have a hard time getting away from this one. We're seeing a much, much more organized Garuda International at the moment, as Bravostrom launches an SD-10 at A50, whose only defense right now is altitude. The SD-10 heading in towards Maligator. Getting confused by the trees and gets spoofed. Is BYD getting away from this missile? Dumping all the flares and chaff he can and gets away, but only just. That'll be enough to get your blood pumping a little bit. No, this isn't the new cola. This is good old Caucasus. This poor old AIM-120 looking desperately for something to explode, but no dice. Murazan and Cookie, the high altitude fighters at the moment. Cruising along. The missile economy largely spent, about 50% for both teams. Valkyr progresses in, looking for a shot here. Down to R27 ETs. Where did the R73s go? Pushing up like this for Valkyr, maybe not the best idea as an ET starts coming in. But doesn't have track. Gets very lucky there. Valkyr fires another ET. And it looks like it's heading towards HT23. But also doesn't track. These 27 ETs are no bingo at the moment. Valkyr's going to have a hell of a time getting away from these missiles. And does not. And Cookie as well gets splashed by an AIM-120 just on the left-hand side of the screen. Suddenly, two members of Garuda International Air Wing go down. A missile launch from Bravo Strom. Not too much to threaten him just at the moment, as most of the members of EFF are ice cold at the moment. This missile with the speed, looking like it's following HT-23, who's only traveling at 600 knots. So this missile's still going fast enough to catch up, but losing speed rapidly and losing track even faster. Bravo Strom now having to contend with AIM-120s and AIM-9s at close range. No dice. Gets splashed. And impact. Down goes Bravo Strom. Maligator merges with a very close range target here. Do they know each other are there? Looks like Maligator is losing in a situational awareness fight here. And has a F-18 right behind him. But does the F-18 have any weapons? No, it's got AIM-9s only. But it looks like there might be a chance here. AIM-9 comes off the rails. No countermeasures being spent. Doesn't impact just yet. Does impact. Down goes the last one. And Murazan is the last person standing. Though, team kill! Ouch! Oh, HT-23 goes down to a unfortunate incident of friendly fire. Everyone knows that, oh, it was Maligator that managed to splash that F-15. It's a 1v3 again. Murazan with one AIM-120 left. And two heat seekers. One missile for each baddie. Off goes the 120. Really got to make this missile count. This has got to hit something. For there to be a chance. Plenty of open terrain. You can see the target aircraft right just off the nose there. They still have the chaff and flare. Or have they spent it all in this low altitude fighting? Starting to think that this 120 lost track. Oh, bang! Down goes. Into 1v2. Murazan has the chance here to do something amazing. One AIM-9 left on E3A, as BYD has two R73s left to go. This is Heat Seekers, and only Heat Seekers. E3 definitely sees Murazan. Off goes the AIM-9. Can Murazan defeat this? Murazan's just flying right into it. Has to launch countermeasures. Is it enough? He dodges the AIM-9M. I don't know if you saw that on screen, but that was dead close. And gets the kill. It's a 1v1. Murazan has a chance now to do something amazing. Murazan manages to just dodge the AIM-9. And it's down to BYD to try and cinch the victory here. But BYD's engines are at 30%. Is BYD completely out of fuel? This is getting tense. Murazan starts heading in towards BYD. Murazan traveling much faster than BYD's. Missiles are going to have way more speed. They're only 7 nautical miles away from each other. BYD, engines barely running. Murazan heading in. Got the AIM-9. Sees the target. fires. The AIM-9 and the R-73 meet past each other in the sky, and it is a draw. That's a draw. Everyone is down. No one survives. That's it. It's a draw. And we proceed to round 3 with no one scoring the last kill there. Look at this. Unbelievable. Mutually assured destruction. And what do you know? That's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's round 2, ending in a draw. Unbelievable. No one left except the A50s up in the sky right now. And that keeps it at 1-0. So, we're heading on to round 3 after a tie. Unbelievable. All right, guys, well, stand up, get yourself a drink. We'll get ready for the next round. I have not seen that in Satac so far. All right, guys, we'll be right back. What a crazy moment. How cool is that? A tie in Satac. Both units splashing each other with heat seekers at the last moment, leaving nothing flying. We had the Su-27 with barely a drop of fuel left in it, and the F-18 that fought back against a 1 versus 3 and managed to tie it. That was really cool. Don't forget that this is a best of 5, so still plenty more fight to happen. I really want you to vote in this poll, guys. I want you to vote in this poll. I'm going to put up a poll now. I want you to vote. It's on your screen, just above the chat box. Round 3. EFF or Garuda Virtual Air Wing. I want to know who you're here to support and who you think's going to take the next round. Okay, so for Garuda, we have Murazan, Cookie, Rio, Valkyr, Bravostrom, and Sarah Brave. Meanwhile, for the Reds, Kainau, Duro Apple, E3A, A50, and HT23. All right. Looks like the members of EFF are making their way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and they're homebound. Ding 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 ding. Taxiing down to the runway, Murazan's leading the way after heroically saving their team from a loss there. Meanwhile, it's like HT23 and BYD are the last two to get moving for the members of EFF. I always like looking at a shutdown SU-27 to see the mesh grid that it has for covering up the air intakes to prevent getting FOD from the ground, and also getting some air in from these lower air intakes as well. Very cool. Meanwhile, let's have a look at what they're armed with. What's our friend in the F-18 got? No funky loadouts this time. They're starting to get serious. Looking good and feeling good. Your prediction will be 5-4. Well, it's first to 3, so I'd be impressed if it gets to 5-4. And it looks like the votes are pretty evenly matched, with 57% going towards EFF, but 43% going towards Garuda Virtual. Garuda Virtual's coming into this as the underdogs, it looks like, but looks like they're slowly earning a few fans here in chat with their plucky and adaptable nature. I think that through rounds 1 and 2, they have shown that they can develop and change their tactics when they need to. Alright, so the J11s, looking good. Three tolds again on the F-18. The F-16 stock standard as usual. Looking good. Feeling good. Valkyrie ready. Alright. We need BYD to get that plane moving. Poor odd members of Garuda Virtual Air Wing having to deal with the fact that it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning where they are at the moment. Come on, BYD, we need you to get that plane started. Support from Malaysian Comrade. Welcome in to RHE 69. Yes, this is a Southeast Asian team through and through. Their beautiful flags and liveries. Looking gorgeous. Look at that. How's that for a little bit of national pride? Okay. Garuda Indonesia is ready. I have to always ask if EFF is ready because I don't know if they always know what I'm saying. BYD must move. And we get the classic EFF response of, wait a minute. Wouldn't be a J11 pilot without those white gloves. The VOD will be available. You'll have to forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Li Tong. The VOD will be available as soon as the match ends. Where are you from, guys in chat? Also, Joak, thank you for the follow. Whereabouts in the world are you from? Are you from China? Are you from Indonesia? We've got someone from Malaysia. I'm in the UK at the moment here, but I'm an Australian myself. Traveled all over the world. But whereabouts are you from? Okay. Garuda Virtual saying they're taking the setup time just for a chance to get a bit of rest. BYD making their way. From the Eastern Bloc. Depending on which country you're from, which food do you think is the best in your country? Okay, EFF ready. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. All right, and that is the takeoff command as A50 leads the way, followed by E3A. I love these AWACS themed names. And a nice and smooth takeoff as Garuda Virtual leads the way. We have Sarah Brave and Bravo Strom taking off. What is goulash? Let me see. I'm going to have to Google this. Oh, goulash. Ah. I haven't had that in years. Meanwhile, Rio and Cookie take off together in good formation, as they always do. Looking good and feeling good. All right, the fight's going to be on in just a moment, guys, so don't forget to pour yourself a glass of water. Meanwhile, the last members take off, and BYD makes it in time. Looking good. We have everyone in the sky now. Let's watch Cookie and Rio as they do their formation flying. Good morning, Retro. I hope you're having a good day. If the Garuda guys fly upside down, are they from Poland? Good point. Looks like we've got a much more aggressive stance coming in from EFF here, with their F-18s roaring straight down the middle here. They'll enter the circle shortly. BYD heading up in the north. Meanwhile, Bravo Strom and Sarah Brave heading into the south. They'll be 1v1ing HT-23. Yes, then they will eat dumplings. They will eat rogi. Look at all that fuel burning. Look, POV. You are a hot dog. What is Kuromak? Kurwa. Why do I even try and pronounce words that I can't The battle zone is contested. Everyone's heading in. The aggressive stance of A50 and E3A has got them at 30,000 feet charging down the middle, followed up by Zero Apple and Kainau. Check the loadouts on these F-18s. A50 bringing in 6 Tulds again. E3A just going with fuel bags. So A50 is not going to be drowning in fuel, already on internals. Getting up to this altitude and this speed, not going to be easy to keep that up forever. The familiar whine of F-18s heading into the danger zone. See if we can see Cookie and Rio do their break. There we go. Right on time. Separating out into the battle line. Got the jamming pods on the center line. And of course, all of the J11s electing to bring jamming pods as well. Thank you for the follow, Angry Toilet Seat. Sound like my toilet. Have not done good things to that place. Alright, 81 nautical miles separating Bravo Strom and HT-23, while Murazan and A50 are 75 away from each other. BYD and Valkyr are 90. Valkyr charging along, with the afterburners on. Have a look at this. Interesting choice, but I can see why you'd do it. Electing to bring an R27ER as well. On the centerline pylons. The R27ER, a very, very, very fast missile for high altitude work. Though it does look a little bit out of place amongst the SD-10s. All is well, Angry Toilet Seep. I hope everything is well with you. Who will fire first? HT-23 launches a really, really high altitude. AIM 120. Passing over 65,000 feet. It's a long journey. It's like Bravo Strom and Cerebrave know it's coming, though. 2 AIM 120s. That's a lot of missiles to be spending at max range. Welcome in, Rivian. Hope you're having a good day. No shots between Valkyr and BYD. They're about 47, 48 nautical miles from each other. But I wonder if we'll see Valkyr try and use this R27ER at super long range. Only at 42,000 feet, but that's okay. SD-10 from Cerebrave, fired in response to the 120s. They're beginning their downward journey, traveling at 1,800 knots. Both Bravo Strom and Cerebrave are going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering here to deal with these missiles. They still have speed. You can't throw missiles at me when competition's on. It would be distracting. Okay, looks like this AIM 120's gone dumb. Understandable. What about the one towards Cerebrave? Oh, Cerebrave, come on, Cerebrave. Come on, Cerebrave, you have to maneuver. You can't just fly away, you have to maneuver, Cerebrave. It's faster. Come on, Cerebrave. No! Cerebrave tanks the missile. Unbelievable. Okay. Missiles in both directions. Valkyr has an ET to deal with. Has it got the legs? And it is tracking at the moment. Traveling at 1,600. Not going to be giving any warnings on the radar warning receiver here. Has it got the energy? Slowing down quickly. A missile comes off the wings. And firing a missile and turning away may just be what saves Valkyr here. Firing a short-range SD-10 launch at E3, who may be in trouble here. E3 maneuvering down low. E3 gets splashed. E3 goes down. Valkyr escapes the 27. ET just by centimeters. That's one down. Already we're seeing EFF on the back foot. Valkyr dealing with 120s and R27 ETs. But they have all lost all their energy. This missile is beginning its sad last journey down to Earth. Moaning. Oh, God. Why'd I read that? Okay, so 6 in the sky for Garuda. Only 50 nautical miles separating A50 from anyone. Hasn't fired a single tull yet. And still not launching tulls. Has a 120 coming in. Missile probably not going to have much potential. The air down here is thick. And A50 is turning away. But still not electing to use any tulls. Control F6 to view missile. Whoa! Whoa! I didn't know you could do this. But what is it pointing at? About this one. Control F6. Oh, it's looking at its target. Ah. Wish I could zoom in a little bit, though. Okay, missiles trading in all directions here. No dice. Shouldn't have told me about this camera view. R27 ET coming in. Got potential, and I missed the impact. Alright, so BYD manages to splash Valkyr at high altitude. So that evens the odds. SD-10 launched at Bravo Strom. They dodge now? They dodge now! SD-10 fired in response at BYD. Got some speed. BYD's got to be careful here. Gonna be close. And kaboom! BYD goes down. Right on the edge of the effective range. Look at this. Bravo Strom explodes. It's trades in all directions at the moment. I should bind those camera controls to something better, so I can be a better DCS streamer. No luck with this missile. M120s coming off the rails. Not really towards anyone specific, though. Oh, one of the missiles goes for a told. A red missile takes out a blue told. And don't tell me that we've got a 120 here going for a told. People splashing their own tolds. And no bingo. That was decoy AIM-120, I'm sorry to say. AIM-120 from Murazan heading over towards Zero Apple. Zero Apple might be caught in amongst the valleys here. But he's low and he's fast. At passion. Thank you. I try my best. Okay. Missile economy is starting to look a little bit tired for some of the players here. Zero Apple still has all of their missiles, such as they should be needed. A50 coming in here, though. Can't be flush with them. Got 2 Tulds left. But this only had 1 bag of fuel. And check that out. Isn't that cool? Launches a Tuld and fires an AIM-120 pretty much at exactly the same time. And the missile fired in response heads for a decoy. We're seeing a really effective use of decoys here from A50. Launches an AIM-120 and a decoy simultaneously, cluttering the airspace. Rio fires on a decoy. All right. AIM-120 in the sky. Is this one going for a decoy as well? I think it is. Yeah, another decoy. A50 coming in clutch with the decoys here. They are working in a big way. Cerebrave pushing in. Got R77s, got an R27ER and an ET here. So, got a whole host of different varieties of missiles. Mirazan, only 8 nautical from A50. But the altitude difference is too great. Cerebrave and Zero Apple potentially facing off against each other here at 12 nautical. Turning in hot on each other. Zero Apple doesn't fire. Does Cerebrave find him? Cerebrave may have found him here, and at this range it's going to be tricky to miss. Has definitely got him, but an AIM-120 is coming in. Cerebrave, can you get away from this missile? No, you can't. Cerebrave eats it. But the one fired in response. Zero Apple gets splashed. ET to the face. Missiles being traded between A50 and Rio here. Rio going to have to defend hard against this one. Maybe caught a little bit too high in altitude. Pulling some shapes to try and get away. Missile gets defeated, and Rio fires on a decoy again. A50 gets away with these decoys. These decoys hugely effective. He's only got one 120 left. Hideout proceeding in. Has 2 120s left to work with. Incredibly good decoy work. So it's even at the moment. A 120. Where's this going? Like it might be towards Kai now, who's at 7,000 feet. Gonna have to defend hard against this one. This missile's got speed, and it's got intent. And sorry if you live in that building down there. 120 heading in towards HT-23. Such low speed, but it's coming so close. At 300 knots, this 120 is still trying. Effectively taking HT-23 out of the fight for a while. Cookie proceeds in, but only has heat seekers, has a lightning pod. Lightning pods sometimes brought by some of the pilots to attempt to see hostile missile launches at longer ranges. The loss of this F-16 won't be too sorely felt, as it is down to heat seekers only, and he gets impacted and taken down. Murazan faces off against Kainau. Kainau, I don't think, has any... Oh, he's got 120 left. Murazan, what have you got? Murazan has a 120 left, launches it, gets the first one off. Might be lucky here. Really needs to push towards Kainau, though. Instead goes defensive. Kainau could be pushed here, turning this cold. With only heat seekers left, you're going to have a hard time dealing with him if this AIM-120 doesn't secure it. And it doesn't secure it. This AIM-120 goes dumb. Rio, looking definitely like he's about to merge with HT. An AIM-9 comes off the rails towards Rio. Rio's got to launch some countermeasures here. But doesn't. Rio gets splashed and fires the 120 too late. It doesn't track HT-23. Murazan, once again, the last man standing with only AIM-9s. Surely we can't get another draw here. AIM-9, no factor. Murazan facing off against A50. A50 has an AIM-120 left and an AIM-7. Launches the AIM-120 towards Murazan, who fires an AIM-9 in response. I don't think Murazan's getting away from this. I think this is very, very difficult to notch. Has to be perfect. And Murazan does it. Spoofs it into the trees and gets away with it. The AIM-9 fired in response has run out of speed. And does not secure the kill. Ooh, geez, that flew really close to A50 here. Okay. A50 has a Sparrow left. High now has an AIM-120 left. High now, and this AIM-120 has to secure this now. Murazan, one heat seeker left. Turns in hot because what can you do? Murazan gets splashed. Kaboom. Down goes Murazan. As A50, high now, and HT-23 have to make it back home. And HT-23 still has their fuel bags on, despite not having a single weapon left. Decided to keep the fuel bags on for the journey home. I mean, those things can be, those fuel bags can be expensive. All right. Let's have a look at what we missed on TAC view. I mean, I think we saw most of the key action there. Oh, I don't think we missed any of the kills. What I really want to see is I want to see A50's decoys. Look at this. So A50 launches an AIM-120 and fires a decoy at the exact same moment. And another decoy. These decoys, they pay for themselves, really. Look at this. And then minutes later, Cerebrave on the attack launches an SD-10. And the Told has claimed another victim. What about this one? This one here. Here you go. Rio fires at this Told, which catches another one. What about this one? Cookie fires down towards another Told. Tactical air launch decoy. So many missiles being spent here. So many missiles that they needed at the end. Told gets splashed. So A50, I think, here showing the potential of what some of this fighting can do. Rio, unfortunately, facing off against HT-23 here. Needed to have fired that 120 way sooner. In fact, check this out. I was confused as to why that didn't kill HT-23. Rio fires his aim 120 here. So here we go. Rio fires their 120. At this moment, it looks like it might have been a pitbull shot. And the missile immediately goes active and starts seeking HC-23's aim 9. If it had gone for HC-23, HC-23 would be dead. But by some miracle, it goes for the aim 9 instead. That is so unlucky. And if it was deliberate, oof, seeing some next level flying. So HD23 makes it back home, kept the fuel bags, just ditched them a little while ago. Meanwhile, Kainau and A50 making it back home. I'd be amazed if A50 has the fuel to do this, because A50 only brought one fuel tank and was flying and fighting hard the whole way back to base. So what are we looking down the barrel of? Oh, these poor Garuda Virtual Air... Garuda Virtual Air Wing pilots. They must be so tired. Even I'm tired. Who's closest? Kainau's closest. HT23. Don't tell me HT23 is nearly out of fuel. Not again. How's round 3 going? It was a difficult win for EFF, so long as they can make it back and land here. No, what's up, Wargren? How that? What do you mean? There's some long-ass screws. I know, right? I was thinking about that. I was like, how does this thing work? Surely there has to be a better way. Surely it would be so much more aerodynamic to have this as like a dome or something like that. Because right, those screws are long as hell. I mean, these ones are little curves. Why can't the other ones be little curves? POV, you're an innocent bird in Florida. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Whoa! Okay. Down goes Kai now. Bleeding some speed. Bro, don't freak about it. What do you mean? Just a nav light? Just a nav light. Combat airframes are the peak of utilitarian design. Not a single thing wasted. Nothing done for aesthetics. Well, like, why is it so weird? Exactly. Down goes Kai now. Securing the win for EFF. Next up, A50. Accidentally went so fast that all of its textures didn't load. HC-23 is probably like, I'm clear to land. And A50's like, probably. I don't know what kind of landing this is. But it is a kind of landing. Or maybe it's kind of a landing. Oh, your crew chief is going to be mad at you. Oh, bam. And last last but not least, HT-23. Perfect. Let's restart the server. Okay, guys. Well, we're moving on to round 4. Unbelievable. Okay, thank you for flying with Ryanair. Let's get ready for the next round. Get up, get yourself a drink, get ready for everything that's about to come up. As we head into round 4 here, as Garuda Virtual faces off against EFF to claw back victory from the jaws of defeat. I'll be right back. Cracks open a Diet Cola. Oh, don't be mean. Don't be mean. Has anyone tried the map so far? How's it looking? Is it pretty? Is it green? All right. Let's get ready for the next round. What can I tell you that I haven't told you guys already? Well, I could tell you that they've switched sides again. It is everything to play for here. A50 all by their lonesome. Starts heading down the runway. Ligma already giving his horrible hot takes. What? Is he really saying that it's not competitive with PvP style? What the hell is he talking about? What does he mean by that? And hey, look. Cerebrave electing not to bring the wingtip ECM. Who's going to win this one? That's a good point. Let's do the poll. I want to see your votes. It's too big and empty. It's like the northern... I don't even know what to say. I want to see who you're voting for. Can they switch planes? No, well, they have to keep the same planes that they had in the first round. So it will have to be 2 F-16s, an F-18, and 3 J-11s for Garuda Virtual Air Wing. But they can swap pilots around if they want to. Garuda won't win this one. They've got so close. They've got so close in all 3 rounds so far. They have got so close. It's fun to fly the Viggy in it. No, I'm sure. It's its home territory. The one place in the world where its camo actually fits in. Alright, looks like all of the members of Garuda Virtual are just about lined up. A50's leading the way for his team. This is round 4. Good point. Thought I updated that. There we go. This blasted delay. The delay to keep things competitive delay. Round 2 was a draw. Hasn't been updated, yes. Hey Torch, how you going? Welcome into Satac. You watch the 4th round kick off. Where is the F-15? Let's have a little look. Here it is. What is that, J11 camouflage? Oh, it's historical. This is the camouflage for the Chinese Air Force, I believe. I think these characters mean Chinese Air Force. I think. I don't read Chinese or Mandarin or Cantonese, to be specific. No missiles on the wings for the F-15? Yeah. So, there is a common belief that these outboard pylons for the F-15 increase drag quite noticeably. So lots of people choose not to bring them. ID all ready. Okay. EFF. And EFF is going to tell me 1 minute. AlphaGator, if you're still here, how come it's A50s instead of E3s in these rounds? Looks like it's even between Garuda Virtual and EFF, which is very exciting. I would really like EFF to tell me that they're ready. Wait them in, of course. Two sidewinders, 4 sparrows. Some people are super particular about it. Oh, it's true. You can't argue with it. They outfit their planes. It's 2 sidewinders, 4 AMRAAMs, so AIM 120s. Not sure you didn't create the mission? Oh, I see. Might have to do with the new data link stuff? I see. Okay. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. And here we'll see the first plane take off for Garuda. And off they go. And EFF suffers a disconnection again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, if they had a disconnection, why is there 6? Let's see. The GFL plane. Take off. Well, let's have a look at what they're taking. And here we go. Takeoff is happening. Engines on. And up they go. Okay, let's see what they've got. E3 is just carrying fuel bags. Hi now, just fuel bags. A50. 1 fuel bag and 6 tactical air launch decoys. 0 Apple. Just fuel bags. HD23. Fuel. Meanwhile, over at Garuda, J11s have what we expect. Murazan. No tactical air launch decoys this time. Cookie and Rio. Fuel bags on Cookie. What about Rio? A jamming pod. And off they go. So, they're 139 nautical miles away from each other on this icy cold winter's day. The Blue Angels take to the sky. Obviously, we didn't have enough airframes to go around, so we had to take some from the demo team. So I think the Blue Angels, just above the upfront control panel, have a clock, I think. Is it a clock or is it an accelerometer? No decoys, yes. In rounds 1, 2, and 3, there were decoys taken by the Garuda Virtual Air Wing jet. If you guys want to support me while we stream Satac here, don't forget to hit that follow button down below. You can also interact with me on Twitter and join in on my Discord. If you're interested in the organizers of Satac, you can engage with them here. So, HT23 going into the far north. That means that BYD is going into the far south. Looks like all 3 J11s are going south this time. It's a clock. Well, there you go. Cookie and Rio in close formation, as usual. All right. The battle zone is now contested as the red team members enter the circle. It's an aggressive push from the members of EFF. While BYD is happy to take the long way round in south. Valkyr, Bravo Storm, and Terra Brave, I think, are looking to overwhelm the fighter that they must know by this point is going to be in the south, and typically just one, with the rest of their team charging through the middle. Sound barrier smashed to pieces. Looks like the small fighters, in fact, it looks like it's going to be totally uncontested down the center. So this time, instead of sending a meeting group of the smaller aircraft down in the south here and heading through the Central Valley. It looks like the EFF team is going to be split, asked to decide whether they want to support the north or the south or both. Means that we'll probably end up getting two distinct large fights happening, one in the north, one in the south. We'll have to see if they pinch together through the middle. Of course, this mountainous terrain down here does lend itself to being able to sneak around a little bit, like a slippery snake, and defeat plenty of missiles down here. Great area to fly into, good fun. Wonder if the Kola Peninsula has mountains like that. Probably really good terrain for hiking. Bravo Strom. Zero Apple, only 54 nautical away. Meanwhile, Murazan facing off against HT-23. Afterburners on, 35,000 feet. Electing turn cold. Looks like that AIM 120 was seen coming. An SD-10 comes off from Bravo Strom. Like it might be heading for BYD at 44 nautical miles. This 120 heading towards Rio and Cookie. Got speed. I'll have to be careful. Like it might be going for Cookie in the back. Yes, they do have AWACS, but the AWACS is a player. Oh, this isn't looking good. This isn't looking good at all. Kaboom. Cookie goes down in flames. HT gets that one for free. SD-10's being launched towards BYD. He fires one in return. They need to clean up BYD here, but this missile isn't tracking. It has no lock. An SD-10 comes out. Hopefully that's not towards the friend. Okay. Is it tracking? Seek ahead has the plane directly in front of it, but isn't chasing. Both Bravo Strom and Valkyr. Nothing to show for this effort. Zero Apple down here low coming into support. Looks like it might be falling apart here a little bit. An AIM 7P launched somewhere. This SD-10 heading towards Bravo Strom passes underneath, no effect or no factor. Bravo Strom chases Zero Apple here. Only 11 nautical away, but picking up a target in amongst these mountain ranges is hard. Potentially getting caught out a little bit out of altitude. Fuel bags are gone, and SD-10 gets launched towards the southern group. Valkyr running the risk of running straight into this missile. It's going quite fast. Valkyr has to move harder than this. Valkyr explodes. That's two down. Bravo Strom defending hard. This SD-10 fighter in response, not tracking anything. It is a 6v4. An AIM 7P comes off the wings. Not tracking anything, probably just a home-on jam shot. AIM 120 launch from Murazan. Like it's heading towards A50, who's going to have to get clever here. Don't tell me A50 launched. I see. A50 may have overextended here. For a brief moment, I thought that A50 launched an AIM-7 at the AIM-120. And if that actually worked, I'd have gone psycho. Okay, so Garuda Virtual looks like they're getting pinched here a little bit. Rio turns in. Valkyr finally hits the dirt. Rio faces down against A50 and Kai now. At 30,000 feet, gets an AIM-120 for his trouble. Missile passing up towards 20,000 feet. Rio, same 120. Dropping altitude fast, and as a result losing speed even faster. The Tolds are in the air as well. AIM-120 launched towards Bravo Strom from Zero Apple. Whatever the strategy was for Garuda International does not appear to be does not appear to be locking into place cleanly here. SD10 potentially towards Kai now. Bravo Strom having to contend with this AIM-120. Fortunately outspeeds it by a little bit. Garuda Virtual deciding to maintain the altitude advantage here, but it's just causing all of their missiles to go stupid. Rio, the closest now. See the AMRAAM desperately try and wiggle its wings to get a little bit more altitude, but no luck. Rio, not far away as A50 launches. Rio must turn cold now, but is potentially leaving this turn too late. This missile traveling fast. Rio going to have to turn ice cold to get away from this. Fortunately, I think manages to do it. Missile launched in response, heading towards Zero Apple. An R-27ER towards HT-23. That missile's worth looking at because those missiles travel really fast. So long as he can maintain the lock, it's still traveling at 2,000 knots. 19,000. Rather, 1,900. But no factor. Unlucky. The AIM-120 heading towards Bravo Strom. Impacts. Bravo Strom goes down. They're just in a whirlwind of missiles and countermeasures happening here. Rio and Cerebrave largely surrounded. A50 going defensive here. Many missiles spent, but still some left to work with. Heavy fighting all around. Okay, 120 heading towards Cerebrave. No factor just yet. SD10 launched at quite long range. I doubt that has the energy to go visit anything, but maybe. No, not quite. Okay, so Rio, the next to throw down the gauntlet towards HT-23. What's Rio got? Rio has 2 AMRAAMs left. No fuel bags, so he's least agile. Cerebrave and Murazan are both evacing the contentious zone. Zero Apple gives chase. At this point, I think it's hope for Garuda Virtual that they can at least get something on the board here. Potentially as a matter of pride. But HT-23 is not having any of the shenanigans going on with Rio, and at least is not willing to commit hot just yet. Can't blame him, he's only 15 nautical away and must know that. Kai now, chasing down Rio, only 7 nautical away, launches a missile. Rio may not be aware that he's facing down the gauntlet of a missile that's coming in close. Going to have to pull some shapes here, Rio. But maybe sheer speed is enough to defeat this one. Or maybe not. No, it's not. Rio gets splashed. Zero Apple and A50 hunting down Murazan here, who still has a few weapons to make something happen with. An intense fight. Zero Apple be lining up here. One aim 120 left. Pushing those engines to the max. And off goes the missile. Only an aim 7. Murazan going to believe that that's a threat. Murazan turns ice cold against that missile. I think he knows it must be an aim 7 at this point. But Kai now launches a 120. 17 nautical towards Murazan. Murazan turns in the wrong direction. An ER launch from Cerebrave. Not being guided by anything now, so it's just a dumb bomb. Murazan does not take the bait of the aim 7. Cerebrave at 500 feet. Chased down by E3A and A50. The AWACS boys coming with a vengeance. Zero Apple is 8 nautical behind the northern opponent. Aim 7's coming off. A50 wants this finish. Yeah, when it comes down to a non-data link environment, simple things like visibility can have a major factor in it all. Missile comes off the wings, an aim 120 towards Cerebrave, who's too high to get away from this one. Cerebrave becomes pretty pictures on the ground. Impacts. Ground in pieces. One left. That's Murazan. Murazan desperately launches everything. Do any of these missiles have any kind of track on anything? No, they don't. Less. Oh, that would have been so funny if that hit. Murazan, I think, knows he's in trouble now. This aim 7 got what it takes. Almost. Whoa! The aim 7 gets him. And Murazan comes a pile of flaming bits. I mean, he still has the gun. He could be in it with a chance. But I think there may be something wrong with his engines. All right. So, all 6 are coming home. The EFF. After a heroic effort from the members of Garuda Virtual Air Wing, I think they have demonstrated themselves as extremely competent pilots and should be enormously proud of the effort that they put in here to make it into the semi-finals of Satac. Is no small feat, and they definitely showed that they deserve to be here. Okay. I know that the members of Garuda Virtual probably want to get to bed, so I'll make myself available, pardon me, to them. So if any members of Garuda Virtual are in chat at the moment, checking out what's going on, we have a... How is there a red AIM 120 still up here? Where is it going? There's not too much TAC view analysis to happen here, I think. It was a bit of a clinic. I can see the change in strategy. The 3 J11s going south, while Murazan, Rio, and Cookie went north. They broke off into their separate attacks. Really unfortunate that Cookie took a missile here at that range. And especially to have all 3 J11s commit to the fight in the south and not manage to take down BYD was a little bit devastating. But after all that, it just turned into picking apart one by one. But a good effort by all, I think. And certainly I think that Garuda Virtual should feel very pleased with their effort as they have definitely demonstrated that they are extremely competent pilots. Probably not helped by the fact that it's... What time is it at the moment? About 3 AM for them. I'm sure they're really keen to go to bed shortly. Looks like Kaino is willing to make the journey back home the fast way. Getting rid of all those pesky AIM 9s you don't need anymore. And let's say hello to the members of Garuda Virtual. Oh, whoa. Here we go. Hey, how we going? Hello, Cookie. Hello, Murazan. Hello, Dalva. Hello, Bravo Strong. How you going?
Hello there.
Well done, guys. That was some...
It was a good fight, yeah.
Those were some really good fights, and I don't think the scoreline necessarily shows just how close some of those matches were. How are you guys feeling? Other than tired.
Kinda tired. Very tired, obviously. That's the first thing that we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, it's kind of hard to manage all the, me being GCI and, well, it's the first time we actually faced off a very powerful opponent. Previously, we trained and we pretty much, you could say, perfected our strategy. But once we fight off with this Eff, well, it's difficult, very difficult. We have to adapt in real time, and it's difficult. On the second match, where we have a tie, well, we kind of get our hopes up, but third match kind of, back to square zero again, basically.
Yeah, it's basically. We commend, kudos and salute to EFF. They really did their strategy well, because up to the last match, we were figuring out how to crack that strategy, and we couldn't do it. So on the last match, we went with a radical strategy, and it made it even worse. So
Yeah.
So great strategy there, EFF.
And that was the thing, was that it felt like you guys were so close to breaking the back of what they were thinking. I think that when you guys watch the match and watch the TAC views, you'll realize just how close you got to cleaning the floor with them. And a little bit of luck saved them, I think, but they did fly very well, and EFF is a very, very experienced international team full of pilots who train very, very, very hard for PvP. So I think that giving them a real run for their money is something that you guys should be very proud of. You mentioned the fact that you had your strategy quite down pat. If you wouldn't mind describing what that strategy was and how it was intended to play out.
Yeah. Maybe just a bit. So we really had difficulty with their low middle. So we know they have two highs on the flanks, an F-15 and a J-11. We kind of had some strategy to handle that. What we didn't expect was they played very low on the deck in the middle with a lot of tiles in the first game and second, I think. So we had a hard time cracking that one. So that was they were very disciplined, very good. The F-15 is a great sniper. I got sniped on the first pass in the last game. It was far away. It's like, oh, this is amazing. So wow, what is this? So yeah, we try to crack that. We tried with flanks as well, but yeah, it didn't work out. So yeah, congratulations to EFF. That was really good playing, really disciplined, really well played.
Yeah, basically their strategy really is bulletproof. The combination of the center low level flying F-18 and the north and south flanks, which are high level and fast, they're kind of well, it's hard to crack really. Yeah.
And I was just having a look, that F-15 snipe that happened in the last round was a 50 nautical mile shot, which is, how can you expect that? You know, it's so tricky to know at those kinds of ranges. Did you do your research on EFF fights that they've had before and watch some of their gameplay and see, is that how you figured out that they would separate out with a north and a south and the center? And what was the research like going into this match?
Well, to be honest, I only glanced a few of the previous fights, so we were not actually doing research specifically to combat EFF, but we do research on how to combat specifically F-15, and we do know that they can reach as far as 60 or even 70 mile snipe while doing high and fast run. And we do try to anticipate that by looking at the movements of the F-15 itself. For example, if they start to crank left or right, you know, then they usually already release the missile, and we have to preemptively defend. But usually, we at that time we perhaps forget to check, because we are preoccupied with the other areas, and then the snipe went well on the 15.
It's very easy looking from the perspective of being able to see everything that we as the audience can, to understand the difficulty and the fog of the battle from the perspective of people who have to rely on their senses. So figuring out what someone is doing might seem obvious to a spectator, but it's really hard to tell, especially when you've got human GCIs that are providing all of the movement information. If you were to have another go at this match and have a little while to prepare for it, what do you think you would practice to try and do differently?
To be honest, we have no idea at this moment how to crack their strategy. Yeah. The last one that we did, splitting the flight into two, the north group and the south group, was kind of a Hail Mary for us. We basically ran out of idea, really.
Yeah. We did consider bringing F-15s though 1 hour before the match. Like, do we have to do this? I mean, do we have to go full F-15C on this? But no, we stick to our normal configuration. But yeah, as you can see. But it's so good. It's so good. They're really good.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so are you guys, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Erdo. You're very kind.
Oh, I think that even to get into the semi-finals of a competition like this isn't easy. And I've watched several of your matches and cast them before, and I think that you guys have demonstrated that you're very good. How long has your team been operating for?
Well, specifically PvP, we're still pretty new actually for the competitive playstyle. You know, we are mostly a milsim kind of PvP primarily before, but this is actually our first try into PvP combat internationally.
Oh my
Actually,
goodness!
not the first time. Some of the second time, I think.
I mean, that's incredible. For how long you guys have been doing this, to be talking strategy like this and getting into matches like this and giving teams like EFF a run for their money, I think you guys are only just getting started in terms of how you're going to perform in competitions to come, because you've got everything it takes to go all the way. I think I love casting Garuda matches because you're all from the same country or the same part of the world.
Yeah, the same country. We're all from Indonesia, and yeah, we're pretty new. We still have pretty much a lot to learn, really. Yeah.
I know that everyone has loved having you guys around very much, and I love it when we get teams that are all from one country, especially different parts of the world. Indonesia, and I think EFF is mostly from China. So getting the chance to just interact with all of these different people from all throughout the world. And I find that the competitive community is very friendly and welcoming as well. So I think you guys have definitely made yourselves some good friends throughout this competition and earned yourself a lot of respect in the matches to come. Have you got anything else coming up on the horizon for you?
I don't think so. Where are we planned?
Just follow the flow and you will know.
Follow the flow, yeah.
Yeah. We really appreciate the acceptance from the national community. We didn't expect it to be so warm and very welcoming. So it's been an honor to join Satac 23. We hope to join the next Satac and other competitions, and we will also hold our own competitions, and maybe you all will be invited as well, and so on. So thank you very much to Airshow and 51st and EFF for conducting this event. Thank you.
Oh, look, it's our pleasure. I can't wait to see what you guys get up to. And I bet that you guys would really like to go to bed and hug your families and have a sleep.
Yeah.
So if you have anything that you would like to say to the audience, or if you'd like to shout out anyone or your teammates and friends, go ahead. The stream is all yours.
Okay, so
I say the first time, I will say again. Ma, saya masuk TP, Ma. I love you all.
That means, Mommy, I'm on TV.
Okay, so jokes aside, we really want to thank our, let's say, our buddies on our groups, our teammates, and specifically, I want to thanks to Eagle Eye and Jupiter. Eagle Eye for coordinating all of us into this competition, as well as Jupiter for giving us these beautiful skins. Also, shout out to ACR and Malaysian DCS community. We are very, very grateful to have them training with us. And so my personal thanks to my family to supporting this activity. Without them, we cannot do anything else.
Absolutely. And or it's familiar to all of us, I think, that when Satac is on and competitions are on, sometimes our families are like, "You've got another match again? Really?" But it's always helpful when they say they're fine with it and they give you support and they cheer you on. Oh, that's so beautiful, guys. Well, I hope that you sleep comfortably. I know that you all deserve it, and I hope you all take good care of yourselves and each other.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our regards to EFF. They played it well.
Yeah, well,
it's a good game.
I'll pass that on to you. I'll pass that on to them if any of them join in. Sometimes they don't do interviews. I think. Oh, here we go. We've got Rita here from EFF. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Rita.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
congratulations on the win, and I know that Garuda Virtual was just about to leave, but they wanted to say thank you very much for a good fight.
Yes.
Yeah, basically,
And
thank you. It's a good fight.
yes, thank
That
you.
was a good fight. I respect.
Yeah, you are
Congratulations.
also very strong too. And but so sorry for our late because I it's
I got
I
this.
just
There's a
I just
before
don't
the game
know.
starts.
Yeah.
Before the game started about 10 minutes, there's Eagle Dynamics launched a new update,
Oh,
and
no.
that's
Also
why
need
there's
be
a.
really.
It's
Hey,
okay. It's okay.
Airshell, Frost here.
Yeah, okay.
It's fine.
Hey,
It's
Frost.
Sorry,
Sorry.
guys.
No, that's okay.
Next time you are going late, you all will ask a Red Bull, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
All
Sure.
right. Well, to the members of EFF we have Rita and Frost. Firstly, may I please say I hope that Mkasu gets well soon. I know that they're in hospital at the moment, and I hope they feel better.
He definitely
yes.
feel better.
Yeah. My cousin is better.
At start of beginning, we have a short hands, right? And Makasu actually in the hospital and said, I have a laptop, but I have no joysticks. If you guys want, I can just fly with a keyboard. So I think he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He have to stay with his family because his mother's sick, you know. Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope she feels better soon. So how are you guys feeling after that match? Are you happy? That was quite a tough fight. Were you worried about it? Or were you feeling confident?
Oh, that I feel very nervous, really nervous. And actually I feel very precious and I'm
Did I just?
I think I might have lost you for a second.
hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. Feel a lot of pressure going into this. Have you fought against Garuda Virtual before?
What?
Have you fought?
你之前跟他们打过吗？
No, never.
And did you do any?
Actually,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and actually, this is our first 6 vs 6 and without AWACS. Yes, it's our first time to play DCS with GCI. Yeah.
And who was your GCI today?
It's MICA. You know,
it's a guy from the In Sky, which is his kind of generosity, and he said he can do some help.
Wonderful.
And
did you find how did you find it different from having data link? Was it a lot harder? And did you fly differently?
Yes, very different. You know, our it's a little mess in our team speak because you know we are lack of experiments and
absolutely.
And one GCI is very hard to pay attention on all of us 6 members.
Absolutely. I know exactly how hard it can be. Let me ask you about one of your strategies. A lot of the time, you would fire an AIM-7, a Sparrow, at really long ranges. What were you trying to do? Was that home on jam shots, or was that just to distract?
Do you mean Zero Apple or? I fly J11. I don't shoot this.
I got this.
Sparrow. Yeah.
I got this. So me shoot the Sparrow many times because sometimes we're GCI have a lot of works have to to give the 6 man for information, and sometimes we ask GCI boogie up and he might be focused on different people, and if the distance is very close, and if we don't shot, we just shot the Sparrows for tell him, hey, I'm here. That's it. It's no more strategics here. Just tell him I'm here,
Yeah.
and you should turn it around.
I mean, that makes perfect sense. That's what I thought you were doing. And of course, some really good use of the decoys as well. That was some of the most impressive decoy firing that there was going on. Who was A50?
Actually,
HT23. He is one of our helper. Yeah, helper.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, did a very good job there.
Yeah. And we have the talk about before, which is shooting the tolls, the air carrier, the dummy missile, which is only for just giving some mass. That's it. And he just carrying the 6 dummy just for spray out like torpedo and just making them confused. And that's it. What we want to do. There's a guy from another team. He did.
It worked really well, especially on round 3. I think in the TAC views, you guys will definitely see that. Well, I'm sure that it's quite late for you guys as well, so I'm sure you want to go to bed. You have Garuda Virtual here with you, and all of the people watching the stream as well. If there's anyone you'd like to shout out or anything you'd like to say, please go ahead. Stage is yours.
Yeah. And actually, the last fight is a really great change for us, because when our GCI told me I have to face 3 J11 with high speed, I actually really feel nervous, and I even swear. So I called Zero Apple quickly climbed up to help me to shoot the 2 of the J11, and
It's interesting how when you're watching someone, they can seem very calm, but inside their mind they're going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah. Yes, actually.
Yeah, and I want to shout out for the GVW guys. There's a really good match I never had before. Actually, this also is my first time to play the 6v6 without the AWACS, only GCI only. That's first time. So I want to shout out for the GVW guys. Give us such good, fast match. Just happened now. So thank you guys. Thanks from the member from the GVW. Thanks.
Pleasure ours. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's been a good fight for us as well.
Yeah, honor is mine.
All right. Well, I think I'll let all of you guys go to bed now and finish things up here. Thank you very much for letting me cast your match. And I hope that you guys, for Garuda Virtual, I hope that your competitions to come go very well. And EFF, I wish you the very best of luck in the matches that you have ahead of you. Good luck to all of you, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone. Good luck, EFF.
Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck,
Yeah, bye.
You all of you are very debonair. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, gentlemen.
Bye.
See you.
Good night.
All right. Well, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for letting me entertain you today. And thank you for supporting EFF and Garuda Virtual in this wonderful match. I think it was a really exciting one. How cool was round 2? I hope that you will take good care of yourselves and each other. Make sure that you support the organizers of Satac. Here are the links to all of their socials. You can also support me if you like my content. Play a lot of DCS and all of that sort of thing. So please feel free to drop a follow. You can also join in on my Discord, and you are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter as well. I'm going to leave you guys alone now so that you can enjoy your hopefully long weekend. And I will see you in the next match, which is at tomorrow at 1200 Zulu, so midday Zulu time, which, if you compare it to today's match, would be 3 hours earlier. So good luck, and I will see you guys there. Fly safe, everyone.